All right, today we're going to dig into a topic that is, and I mean this literally, the foundation of our entire food system, organic fertilizers. And look, this isn't just about a few tips for your garden. This is about the future of sustainable agriculture and really about protecting the very ground beneath our feet.
So, to kick things off, I've got a question for you. We hear all the time about water, about oil, about forests, but if you had to pick just one, what is our single most important natural resource? Just give it a second's thought.
The answer? Well, it might surprise you. It's the soil itself. It is so easy to overlook, isn't it, to just think of it as dirt. But pretty much everything we eat and everything that the things we eat, it all depends on that soil. Protecting it isn't just a nice idea. It's non-negotiable.
So here's the plan for our journey today. First, we'll get into why soil health is such a huge deal right now. Then we'll look at the classic solution, good old manure, before rediscovering an amazing way to literally grow your own fertilizer. We'll uncover the unseen power of roots, check out some really cool modern innovations, and then we'll wrap it all up. Okay, so let's set the stage here. With more and more people on the planet, the pressure we're putting on our farmland is just immense. And that brings us right to the heart of the challenge for modern sustainable farming. See, the number one job for a farmer today isn't just planting and harvesting. It's actively protecting and building up the organic matter in their soil. This is a huge shift in thinking, moving away from just short-term yields and focusing on long-term resilience, so that the land can keep feeding us for generations to come. Now, when I say organic fertilizer, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's got to be manure, right? So let's talk about this original, time-tested solution. But here's the thing, you can't just take fresh manure and toss it on a field. It has to be cured or fermented first. And this process is actually fascinating. It's a biological transformation where everything breaks down, the straw decays into this uniform, rich mass. And get this, it generates its own heat, which sterilizes it. Finally, the water content drops, and boom, you've got this high-quality, powerful fertilizer. And this right here, this is where you see its huge advantage over a lot of chemical fertilizers. Take a look at the numbers for 10 tons of cattle manure. It's not a one-and-done deal. It gives the soil a nice big helping of nutrients in the first year, sure, but then it keeps on giving in the second year. It's like a true slow-release vitamin for the soil, building health over time. But wait, there's more. Beyond those big 3 nutrients, you get this incredible, often overlooked bonus. A single dose of manure also delivers this whole cocktail of essential microelements: calcium, magnesium, iron, zinc, the whole shebang. I mean, can you imagine trying to buy and add all of this stuff separately? The cost would be insane. With manure, it's just part of the package. So manure is great, no question, but what if you don't have a bunch of cows or just not enough to go around? Well, that logistical problem has brought back an ancient and incredibly smart technique, literally growing your own fertilizer right where you need it. It's called green manure, and the idea is just brilliant in its simplicity. You grow a crop not to sell, but to be the fertilizer itself. You let it grow, and then right before it blooms, you turn the entire plant back into the soil. It floods the earth with organic matter, getting it perfectly ready for the next crop. And get this isn't some new trendy idea. This is a technique that's thousands of years old. It kind of fell out of fashion for a while with the boom of cheap chemical fertilizers, but now, as we're getting serious about sustainability again, its value is being rediscovered everywhere. Now, some plants are just absolute rock stars when it comes to this. The Papilionaceae family, we're talking about things like lupins or sweet clover, they have this amazing superpower. They literally pull nitrogen out of thin air and fix it into the soil. Planting and plowing in one of these crops can give you the same fertility boost as spreading 10 to 16 tons of manure per hectare. It's incredible. And it gets even better. The benefits go way beyond just fertilizer. Different plants are like different tools in your toolkit. A crop of rye, for instance, can act like a protective blanket for the soil over winter, preventing erosion. And then you have something beautiful like phacelia, which growers love because it naturally kills off nasty pests in the soil, called eelworms. All right, let's dig a little deeper now. Literally. We've talked about what we can add to the soil, but what about the incredibly valuable stuff that's already left in it after a harvest? This is where we meet the hidden champions of soil health, the roots. So what makes roots so special?
It's just simple genius, really. You don't have to spread them or plow them in. They're already perfectly woven throughout the soil deep down. They deliver that vital organic matter exactly where it needs to be, completely evenly. And the sheer amount of material we're talking about here, it's honestly staggering. Look at this number. That is over 8,000 kilograms of dry root matter left behind per hectare from a single alfalfa crop that was only 2 years old. That's a massive deposit into the soil's bank account. And this quote right here really drives the point home. It says that for some of these key crops, the leftover roots and stubble are equal to a full, heavy-duty application of 30 to 40 tons of manure per hectare. It is a massive and essentially free fertilizer treatment that builds the soil's future. So we've covered the classics and the hidden champions. But hold on, the story doesn't stop in the past. The whole field of organic fertilizing is moving forward with some really cool science and tech. Let's take a quick look at the modern frontier. So today's toolkit is more diverse than ever. We're talking about things like peat to improve soil structure, treated communal sludge from our cities, and even algae, which people in coastal areas have used for centuries to bring valuable minerals from the sea to the land. But out of all of these, maybe the most cutting edge are bacterial fertilizers. This is where high-tech biology meets agriculture. These are literally living products. You're basically deploying an army of helpful microbes that make nutrients in the soil available to your plants. Just one application could replace 50 to 60 kilograms of chemical nitrogen, which is a huge deal. Okay, so we have covered a lot of ground today. Pun definitely intended. From manure to microbes, we've seen a lot of different methods. So what's the big idea? What's the main takeaway for the future of our soil? Here it is. This is the most important thing to remember. Organic fertilizers do so much more than just feed a plant. They feed the soil. It's a completely different mindset. You're not just giving the plant a quick meal. You're building a healthy, living, resilient home for it to live in for the long haul. And that brings us right back to where we started. We know without a doubt that healthy soil is the foundation of everything. And we've seen that there is this huge, powerful toolkit available, blending ancient wisdom with modern science. So the question for all of us is, are we really using every tool in the box to protect this precious ground we all depend on?